At 56, Daniel Carter realized something terrifying. He had become a background character in his own life. That thought hit him one quiet Tuesday morning, staring at his reflection while tying the same worn-out tie he'd been wearing for 8 years. The eyes staring back looked tired, not from lack of sleep, but from lack of purpose. He wasn't unhappy. He wasn't happy. He was neutral, like a paused movie no one remembered to resume. Daniel's days were predictable down to the minute. Same bus seat, same office cubicle, same polite conversations that meant nothing. He used to dream. He used to paint. He used to believe life held something waiting for him. Now he lived quietly, safely, invisibly, hoping no one asked him why he'd stopped trying. But deep inside, a small voice kept whispering, "Is this it?" One afternoon, that whisper grew too loud to ignore. During lunch, Daniel took a walk to clear his mind. He ended up in a small corner park he hadn't visited in years. One of those forgotten places where time seems slower. On a bench sat an older man sketching in a worn notebook. His hands were shaky, but the lines were confident. Daniel paused. The man glanced up and smiled. Not a polite smile, a knowing one. Before Daniel could walk past him, the man spoke. "You look like someone who's waiting for the perfect moment. Let me save you some time." "There isn't one." Daniel froze. The stranger flipped his notebook around, showing a simple sketch of a bird on a thin branch. "Most people spend their whole lives waiting for the branch to feel safe," he said. "But the bird never trusts the branch. It trusts its own wings." That line hit Daniel like a punch he didn't see coming. He felt exposed, but awakened. When he looked up again, the old man was already packing his bag, leaving Daniel alone with a sentence that refused to leave his mind. For the first time in years, Daniel didn't return straight to work. He walked, thought, questioned. That night, he pulled out an old box buried in his closet. Inside were the dusty art supplies he had abandoned decades ago. His hands trembled as he picked up a brush. He painted for 10 minutes, then 20, then 2 hours. Something inside him, something he thought had died, started breathing again. Daniel didn't turn into a new person overnight, but he became a living one. He started waking up earlier, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He joined a beginner's art class. He submitted one piece to a local community showcase. He took a different seat on the bus, talked to strangers, walked with his shoulders a little higher. Every small act was a rebellion against the life that once kept him small. And each day he heard that stranger's voice. The bird trusts its wings. Months later, Daniel stood at a small art exhibition where one of his paintings hung on the wall. People stood in front of it, not knowing the story behind the man who created it. He watched them quietly, shoulders relaxed, eyes bright, heart steady. He wasn't invisible anymore, not to others, not to himself. And for the first time in a long time, he felt alive. You don't need a perfect moment to start. You just need to stop waiting for one. Life opens up the moment you do. If this story pushed you even 1 inch closer to your own start, subscribe. Share it to someone else who is waiting for the moment that never comes.